Okay, so I want to show you everything I have found out about the new evasion system. I've tested a lot in the last 2 days, and all the numbers I will show you in this video are through testing by myself. So it's not data mined, there could be mistakes in it, but I'm pretty confident that it should be right. Besides the new evasion system, I won't talk about the guard system. There have also been two other changes I want to talk about in skills. So they reworked one Dagger skill passive, which is really interesting. I will get to that in the end. You can see it right here, double step. Before it would have doubled all your evasion Dagger attacks. But what it does now, with a cooldown, every time you have a successful evasion, you get a plus 100% damage buff to any Dagger skill. Yes, Gatling knife as well. So, but it has a cooldown, and the cooldown depends on the skill level. I can get this buff at level 1 every 19 seconds, and at level 10 every 10 seconds. I will get to show the damage in the end. Another rework they did was for the support skills. You can see it right here. It's called Fast Reaction. Fast Reaction is supposed to lower the evasion recharge count to faster recharge your evasion stacks. I will get to the exact reduction later on as well. At the very first, very basic, how do I even use the new evasion system? Go to your settings, systems, guard evasion settings. I don't use guard, so I just left it on auto. And evasion. You have two options right here. You can either put it on the shortcut or the minimap. Shortcut is the version I did. Then you get a little symbol right here where I can see the charges. That's also why I use this version. So the way it works, I go to mob and press, you need to move the D-pad, this is important, and then press evasion. If I would have chosen the minimap, I would just tap the minimap and it would do the same thing. But I very much prefer this version because I can see the charges. You can't see your charge count with the minimap version. So before I get into further details, what does evasion even do? Because I have the feeling that a lot of people didn't even know that before the update. Evasion has a lot of requirements to work, and it only works for very, very few attacks. So first, permission to use evasion is you need to have the aggro from the boss. So that cuts out a lot of people because most people will play in a party with a tank. So mostly evasion can avoid auto attacks from bosses, and you need to have the aggro from the boss to even get an auto attack. There are very few skills. Iconos has one which you can evade as well, and some bosses have one skill as well. Basically it's just auto attacks. But before, evasion was kept at 75%. Now you need to time your evasion to avoid the attack, and if you time it right, doesn't matter your evasion recharge percentage or stack number or whatever, the evasion rate is 100% every time. If I time it correctly, I can evade every single boss auto attack. This is amazing. Okay, so these mobs right here have a low accuracy, so it might take some tries until they actually hit me, but if I time it right, you will see an evasion pop up. This is also the successful evasion needed for the double step passive from the Dagger skill tree. The only way you can activate it is by evading an auto attack from the boss. Okay, you will see a buff below the MP bar. Okay, let's try it. Okay, this isn't an auto attack. Can this? Okay, I don't know if this mob even can auto attack. This one should be. Yeah, evasion. Okay, and you can see the buff below my MP bar for the Dagger skill passive. And as soon as I use a Dagger skill, you will see the cooldown for the buff. Here, okay, so it's 9 seconds because I have 10 seconds because I have a level 10. Of course, the great thing about the new manual evasion system is you can also just use it as a kiting tool now. So if I want to avoid some AoEs and I'm too late, I can just kite around the boss. But as you can see, my charge count gets lower, and then I might not have charges left for the boss auto attack. So use it carefully, but also don't use it too sparingly. You just want to find the right middle. Okay. I almost forgot, they also released guard level 3 skills, and the important one here, Mirage Evasion. Mirage Evasion works the same way as double step. The skill level only determines the cooldown on how often you can use it. Okay, so what does it do? You can evade now while charging or casting. For halberd specifically, this mostly includes Warcraft Struggle and Decoy Shot. The time is the same as for double step as well. 19 seconds on level 1, 10 seconds on level 10. For me, 19 seconds is totally sufficient. I usually use it even way less. But to show it to you, okay, let's cast Decoy Shot. See, okay. And now you can see on top the 19-second cooldown with the little symbol of the skill. So this can be really helpful if you messed up your Decoy Shot. Decoy Shot, for me personally, in my solo tries, very often I died because I mistimed my Decoy Shot, as it's just such a long cast, even with max motion speed. What else did they change? Obviously, the evasion percent stat from before must work differently, as the evasion stat now is 100% all the time. They changed it. Every equipment has the same percentage, but it's now called evasion recharge. We can check it for the little Empress Dagger, for example. Evasion recharge lowers the cooldown you need to restore your evasion stacks. You can check your current cooldown in the shortcut settings here. For me, it's 1.6 seconds right now. This also depends on your evasion recharge and your equipment, but I will get to that very soon. So all of your skills now, light armor, evasion, in the guard skill section, they all just use evasion recharge now instead of evasion. Evasion recharge doesn't do too much, and there's a very, let's say, big catch to it, why it's not that worth to have a low evasion recharge. I will get to that later. That's why I only use level 5 light armor evasion to get level 1 mirage evasion, and that's enough for me. Okay, let's get to the juicy stuff now, the numbers which I tested in the last 2 days. Okay, so at first, to even use evasion, you need to have one of those 5 equipment pieces equipped. If you have more, they stack and they give you a higher charge count and lower recharge. You need to have either knuckles, a magic device, a light armor, light stands for light armor, a dagger, or dual wield, so a second sword equipped to even use it. Here I ranked them by charge count and by charge time. The charge time is for 0% evasion recharge. So you can see knuckle, magic device, and light armor is definitely the winner. A charge count of 16 and a recharge time of 1.4 seconds. With halberd, we will find ourselves at the dagger and light armor version. Equipment halberd doesn't do any difference, with a charge count of 10 and a base charge time of 2 seconds. So that's pretty solid. We're definitely up there. We are also the most prominent dagger user out there. Out of those combinations up here, knuckle and magic device and so on, they aren't very common. The most common combination up here is definitely dagger and light armor version. So halberds benefit a lot from this change. Okay, here you can see the specific numbers for the different armor versions with and without a dagger, as those are relevant for halberd, and I only care about halberd, so I only tested them. You can see it doesn't do any difference if you equip normal or heavy armor, it's the same. They both have a charge count of 4 with a dagger, and they can't use it without a dagger. Only if they would equip knuckle and magic device, as I've just said. But here for the light armor, you can say dagger adds another 4 charges and reduces the charge count by about 3 seconds, so that's really helpful. You might remember I also mentioned the new fast reaction support skill. Here you can see the numbers I tested. It's very underwhelming. Effectively, it costs 25 skill points, 600 MP, and you can't get hit, or you will lose the buff. And it, as you can see right here, it only adds 10% evasion recharge. That's nothing, so the skill is practically worthless, and don't skill it, it's a waste of skill points. I mentioned a catch regarding the evasion recharge time. So my current evasion recharge time was 1.6 seconds. This charge time gets higher every time I use evasion. The difference as far as I saw it, as I've observed it. It doesn't make a difference how fast I use it. Just every time I use it, the charge time gets longer, and it basically doesn't go faster again. It takes very, very long, so not really relevant for a boss fight, but it resets every time you change instance. So for example, if you leave the boss room, so you don't need to worry about that. But 1.6 seconds, remember that? First evasion. Let's check. 1.8 seconds. So far, okay. Third evasion. 2.1 seconds. Fourth evasion, 2.5 seconds. Fifth evasion, 3.1 seconds. And it goes on. The maximum count is 10 seconds. It can't go higher than that. So let's just spam it. Are we already there? 10 seconds, yeah, and as you can see, it won't go higher. Also, we could just, I don't know, let's wait 10 seconds, and you will see 10 seconds, in about 20 seconds, we'll probably see 9.9 seconds. So that sucks. Only 10 seconds for one charge is really slow. And especially if you have a drawn out boss fight or do solo whatever, you will want to use it way more often than your initial count of 10. But there's a trick. If you reapply, the important thing here is reapply. If the buffs are already active, it won't work. Reflex or Godspeed Wield both add evasion recharge, and I'm not sure if this is a bug or intended, but if you use them, the cooldown gets reset to 4 seconds for the duration of the skill, but it also goes up again every time I use evasion. So reflex, 4 seconds. Let's wait until reflex ran out and we will see that it dropped to 4 seconds. Okay, it's gone. But okay, now we saw the first little drop, so we are at 9.9 instead of 10. Godspeed Wield works the same, but a little bit slower because 6.6 seconds stack. But Godspeed Wield isn't very optimal. You would need to reapply it 3 times, and you want the buff active all the time. So for non-dual wield users, Reflex is the way to go. The way I do it, I just use a damage combo with Gatling now, with Reflex in the beginning, so 10 seconds are enough to, with a 4-second cooldown, you can recharge 2.5 stacks instead of just 1 with 10 seconds, so that's really helpful. So yeah, 3 Godspeed Wields, 4 seconds or 3.9 now. So yeah, this gets longer every time, and you need to kind of cheese it with Reflex or Godspeed Wield to lower the cooldown again. Okay, so this was everything so far I wanted to tell about the new evasion system. If you want to see the new evasion system in action, check my modular ultimate solo. I will link it in the description so you can see how I make use of the new evasion system. Now, I said I wanted to talk a little bit more about the new Dagger passive Rework. Okay, at first I hope they rework it a little bit, so like backstep, evading AoEs counts as well, because otherwise you will only make use of it as a solo player like me, but if you play in a party, you won't get to activate the buff, as you won't get targeted by auto attacks. So, but let's get the stability equipment, 100% stability, to test the 100% damage buff. Snowman. There, okay. And my Mocrolas, where is it? There. Okay, so I'm at 100% stability. Let's check with auto attacks. 10k. Oh, no, let's search more of the same type of mobs. No mobs here, obviously. It's always full, but if you want to test something, they're not here. Okay. And no crit. 10.8. 10.8.7. Okay, 100% stability. Let's pick those. Let's use Gatling knife without the buff. Okay, 19.890. Okay, so about 20k damage. So we should see about 4k damage now. Let's get those. Where are those little pigs gone? I need the buff. There we go. Let's wait until we evade. Attack me. Miss, come on. Okay, evasion. So I got the buff active, as you can see. Let's go back to those little Dawn Yetis. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's use it again. So, about 40k damage, 100% damage buff. And because I have the Dagger passive on level 10, you saw just a 10-second cooldown. Now I can evade again and do it all again. So for my solos, I absolutely love it. The Gatling Knife is now back in my build. I love the damage buff, it's amazing. You can also see it in the Martyr solo, but I don't think it's really worth it for team play. But yeah, I hope you got the information you searched for in case of the new evasion system and the Dagger passive rework, and thank you for watching the video.